All right, so now we'll show you guys how to create a mutex. So a mutex is basically a log variable which will allow actually multiple threads to access a critical region, which in our case would be a function, without actually like mixing up there. Okay, so let me just show you how to actually create a mutex. So if you create a mutex, like you want to create a mutex for you choose usually for a particular function which you want to be shared between multiple threads. So I'm going to create a mutex for my delay function. My delay. Okay, I don't like using though, like mine. So I'm just going to call it delay mutex and then click OK. And then we will generate the code again. Okay, so now we want the reference to the mutex which has been created. Where is it? It is somewhere in here. OSI delay mutex, and okay, here it is. So we're going to be using it inside our timer. So we're going to create an external reference to that mutex. So it's inside OSCM. Okay. So we also need to include the OS headers inside our timer driver for now. Okay, so now this is the function which we want to share between multiple threads. So what we do is okay, so this is actually driver which I used in the past for like using the pin write function, like in this one, between multiple threads. You don't even basically all of the STM32 like peripheral functions are not thread safe. You cannot use STM32 pin write all of the functions or the start timer from different threads. They are all not thread safe, so you have to use a mutex to access any of those functions if you're going to be using multi-threading. So before the function even starts, actually, you want to acquire a mutex. The mutex. So the mutex which we want to acquire. So what would happen is whichever thread actually tries to invoke this function, it will first try to acquire this mutex, and then it will block inside this acquire function until it is granted access. This mutex is only acquired once, so that's why it's called the lock variable. So whichever thread is able to access it first will lock it, then any other function will block on this function, on this acquire, until the other function which is acquired mutex releases it. Okay. So we release the mutex when we have when the function is finished executing. Okay. When the function is finished executing. Okay, so then it releases that delay. Once this thread releases this delay mutex, the next function, the next thread that wants to use this function can now proceed to set the count and change the function values. Because so this would be our critical region, all of this actually. Okay, so that is basically how you create a mutex. Now we can use our delay millisecond function from multiple threads. We can use it here. We're already using it here, and can also now try to use it in our default task as well. But we're not going to do. We can actually put it over here. Instead of delay, you can use delay mallet. But yeah, so that's basically how you create mutexes on STM32 IDE.